Hello everyone, hope you're all doing okay. I thought it was about time I started reading another book for you all, and I've chosen this one, Mr. Penguin and the Fortress of Secrets. Now, lots of you have been in my classes before where we have read the first Mr. Penguin book, and I know how much you've enjoyed it. This is the second one in the series. I believe there's actually a third, either out or coming out very soon. So I thought lots of you might want to listen to this. So Mr. Penguin and the Fortress of Secrets. It's by Alex T. Smith. And let's see, I haven't read it yet, so I'm going to be reading it along with you all. My plan is simple. I'm going to take over the world. Mr. Penguin is a penguin. If you aren't sure whether he is or not, all you have to do is look at him. Here he is now. He looks like a penguin. He's all black and white with a little beak and two flappy flippers. When he walks, his bottom wiggles about in exactly the sort of way a penguin's bottom should wiggle. But there's something rather unusual about Mr. Penguin. You see, he isn't just a penguin. He is an adventurer. He has the dashing hat, enormous magnifying glass and battered satchel with a nice packed lunch of fish finger sandwiches inside to prove it. Mr. Penguin's best friend is this spider. His name is Colin. He's really good at kung fu, so you better watch out. Kapow! That woman with the headscarf, she's called Edith Hedge. She's Mr. Penguin's other best friend. The pigeon on her head is Gordon. He doesn't say much. Together, they've already been on an adventure called Mr. Penguin and the Lost Treasure. Are you ready to join them on another? Mr. Penguin's home and office, an igloo between two enormous skyscrapers in Cityville, is in darkness. All is still. The swivel chair behind the desk is empty. A cloth is draped neatly over the typewriter. And Mr. Penguin's special hat is not hanging on the coat rack as usual. In fact, it's not there at all. The only sound is the low humming of the refrigerator. On the mat by the front door, post is piling up. On top of the little hill of post is a letter. It's neatly addressed and the stamp, from a very far away place, is stuck down next to the words airmail. Inside, the letter says, there's the letter. Dear Mr. Penguin, my name is Dieter Strudel. I live up a mountain and I can't find my hamster. Actually, quite a lot of rodent pets have gone missing recently, and there are loads of other strange things going on here too. I've read about your adventures in the newspaper, and I think you might be just the penguin to help me. I know you and your friend Colin are good at solving mysteries. I don't have much money in my piggy bank, but my mum runs the bakery here, so you can have as many cakes as you can eat. Please come and help me. I really miss Colonel Tufty Bum, my hamster. Yours hopefully, Dieter Strudel. But Mr. Penguin hasn't read the letter yet, because Mr. Penguin isn't at home. Where on earth could he be? Chapter 1. A dark and shadowy deal. 6,000 miles from Cityville. The open-air ballroom was heaving. On the roof of the luxurious Golden Pagoda Hotel, glamorous couples pranced around the dance floor in the hot, sticky, jasmine-scented night air. Framed by a pair of spangly curtains, a live band were on the stage. They honked and parked their way through a medley of jazzy hits. Immaculately dressed waiters fluttered about like hummingbirds, topping up glasses with fizzy champagne. Corks popped, bamboo swayed, and hoots of laughter filled the air. Everyone was having a wonderful time. Well, almost everyone. In a dark and shadowy corner, a dark and shadowy deal was being done. A small, scrawny man with a face like a cross-eyed rat was sitting at a table. Beads of sweat ran down his nose. Two enormous men sat opposite him. Their faces disappearing off into the gloom. Between them was a very glamorous lady, tiny compared to her bodyguards and dressed elegantly in a black frock. A small silver brooch by her shoulder, a circle containing an eye, twinkled in the candlelight. When she spoke, she smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Do have it," she hissed in a dangerous sort of voice. The ratty man nodded. He was so nervous the ends of his wispy moustache wobbled about like worried whiskers. Carefully, he lifted a bundle of rags onto the table and started to unravel it. The lady's eyes glinted greedily when the object inside was revealed. She nodded to the giant bodyguard on her left. He extended a hand the size of a tea tray and took the treasure with one swipe, placing it delicately into a padded briefcase and clicking it decisively shut. Meanwhile, the other bodyguard had taken out a huge pile of money from inside his jacket and placed it on the table. The ratty man didn't wait to be told to take the cash. With shaking hands, he grabbed the money and shoved it frantically down the front of his trousers. Then he gave a curt nod, weaved his way through the crowded dance floor and slid down the back stairs into the night. He did not look back. The lady in black watched him leave like a cat watching a mouse. Then she gathered her fur stole about her shoulders, stood up and walked across the crowded room, followed by her bodyguards. What she and her assistants didn't know was that two beady eyes were watching her make her escape. The beady eyes belonged to the conductor of the band, peering out over the top of his music stand. He had been watching them very carefully. You can see who the conductor is. Now, let's just stop and have a good look at this man. Let's really squint at him. Hang on. I think that small and rather round little man might not actually be a man at all. I think he might be a penguin. A penguin in disguise. Yes, he's squeezed into a smart white dinner jacket with a jazzy bow tie, and his neatly shingled hair is a wig, I'm sure of it. But beneath all that, he is definitely a penguin. The beak, despite the fake moustache stuck to the end of it, is a dead giveaway. It's Mr. Penguin. Let's see what he's up to. Mr. Penguin watched the lady and her bodyguard snake across the dance floor. He narrowed his eyes. Judging the moment just right, he raised his baton, and at a flick of his flipper, the band started to play again. Drums rolled, trumpets popped, and an elderly woman with an enormous tuba on her lap and a pigeon on her head puffed out her cheeks and blew hard. A rather large spider flew from the tuba. His thick monobrow furrowed with concentration. He whistled through the warm night air, swinging a lasso made from a strand of shimmering web above his head. "Go get them, Colin," Mr. Penguin cried. As he flew, the spider nodded in a business-like fashion and took out a notepad from under his bow tie. He wrote a message on it with a thick marker pen. It said, "I'm on it, Mr. Penguin." Then he stashed the pad away neatly before landing with a dramatic roll right in front of the glamorous lady in the black dress. She gasped. So did everyone else. The band stopped playing. The dancers all stopped prancing and stared. The only sound was of the moth's wings flapping around the lanterns. The lady narrowed her eyes and scowled. one of her bodyguards lifted his enormous foot to stamp on Colin the spider. But little did they know that Colin was a kung fu master, and he was more than ready for them. So there we go, that's chapter 1, and I will be back another day to read chapter 2, which is entitled Fetch the Briefcase, Mr. Penguin. Hope you enjoyed that. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care. Bye.